I wanted to jump to December of 2024.
Ooh, why?
Truck drives into the Monarch.
Oh, yeah.
It had been closed for the night, thankfully.
Yeah? For like a few minutes.
Wow. Jen Ray, thank you for sitting down with us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
The Monarch has been part of Wichita dining scene since 2012 and is a staple in the Delano district. Take us through the early days and the vision you saw at the time and what the Monarch could turn out to be.
You know, what I saw versus what it's turned into are two totally different things. I knew in the back of my head that I wanted to make a change and that I wanted to open up my own business. I did not know that it was going to be right then and right there. So most of the planning happened as we were actually doing the work. And I think one of the most fortunate parts of creating the Monarch and being in Delano is that there was no plan and there was definitely no money. Like, I had no money. I had a dangerously small amount of money. And if I knew what I know now, I don't know that I would have taken that same risk. But I was fortunate to have to make really strategic, smart choices with hiring and decor and planning because I didn't have the money to do what I thought I wanted to do, which turned out to be a big blessing in disguise. And now here we are, 13 years later almost.
Right. What were you doing before opening the Monarch, and what kind of inspired you to open it?
So I started working at Emerson Biggins in Old Town when I was 21, and I took a super liking to it. I worked there when I was at WSU. I thought I wanted to be a school teacher, and so I was working at the Child Development Center at WSU during the day. I was trying to go to school. I was working at Emerson Biggins at night, and this is when Old Town was thriving. I mean, way before your guys' time. It was an amazing, magical place for
What
those
years?
of us. I started in 2001 and worked there for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I finally quit in 2012 when I opened the Monarch. I was with that company the whole time. At one point, I decided that I wanted to move just because I was ready to move and try something new. Because at this point, I was lost in my life. I did not want to be a school teacher. I knew that, but I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. But I was making really great money at my job. And I was like, well, I guess I'll move. You know, I've got this one skill that's transferable anywhere in the world. And they said, well, tell you what, if you want to move, why don't you move to Oklahoma City and open up our new restaurants down there? So that's what I did. I moved down there and opened up 2 Emerson Biggins down there. And I was down there for a while and then ended up moving home and going back to the one in Old Town. But it felt like I was at the age of 30, maybe starting to age out of it a little bit. Working till 3:30 in the morning has, it's got its perks, but it's definitely not easy. Jaeger bombs started to smell worse.
Oh, yeah.
People screaming started to sound louder. My temper was getting shorter. And so I knew in the back of my head that something was going to have to change. I didn't know what. And then the landlord of what was then the garage bar came in. And I overheard him talking to my boss about how his current tenant in that space was not going to be able to make it, and he was looking for somebody new. And I jumped on it.
Wow. You said you didn't have a lot of money at that time. How'd you make that work?
I borrowed it. I borrowed it from family. I did not have a bank loan. I didn't have time. It was a total of 61 days between the beginning of the conversation and when the Monarch opened. I didn't have capital to stay closed and just keep remodeling. She closed the day after the toy run, the big motorcycle thing. in November. So I had 30 days between when this started and when she closed to try to get a logo and a name and, all my paperwork together and do all that back end stuff. And then we were only in possession of the property for 30 days before we opened.
Wow. How much work consisted in those 30 days? It had to be so much work.
Shockingly, no.
Really?
I don't know if you guys had ever gone into that place, but it was covered in like tread plate, like metal tread plate all over the walls. In fact, everything that is on the walls that is wood is covering tread plate because it was glued on there, and they told me I couldn't rip it off. We ripped out the DJ booth. We did some rearranging. It was mostly just cleaning and painting. I mean, it was a turnkey operation. We just needed to give it a life that fit the neighborhood a little bit better.
How'd you come up with the name?
That is one of the first saloons ever opened in the city of Wichita. It was called the Monarch. We went back into the historical registry and stole it or borrowed it or, tried to play into the historical significance of Delano in general. And then I had a really great designer that I was able to work with who threw our logo together.
Did you, when you were at Biggins, were you hiring and firing at that point?
Yeah.
Or you were? So you already had experience in managerial roles when you opened the Monarch.
Yeah. So I had worked my way up to general manager. So I had experience with all things running a restaurant. And then in my time in Oklahoma City, opening those two, I had experience in, what it was like leading up to that, placing those first orders, doing the manual labor and doing the hiring and kind of living those first couple weeks, which are never fun for anybody trying to open up a small business. So I did have a lot of experience. Now that did not prepare me for what owning a business was like, because that was a whole nother level of information and learning that I had to do, because there were just things I didn't know about, taxes and licensing and insurance. Who knew you needed like 27 different types of insurance to run a business? Well, let me tell you, I did not. And we did not have like business insurance. We didn't have general liability insurance for maybe the first 3 or 4 months we were open. So this guy was like, that's not legal. And I said, I didn't know that. I should probably get some insurance.
Right. But you don't know until you know.
You don't know
Right.
till you know. That's exactly right.
You just got to get in and kind of figure it out.
Yeah, thankfully I learned most of my lessons with relatively little pain. There could have been a much harder way to find out that I had to have business insurance, but luckily somebody else caught it for me and we got it fixed. But I've been really lucky to be surrounded by people who are much smarter than I am. So I've been able to, learn from them as I've gone along.
When you decided to start it, did you have people in your mind that you wanted to bring onto your staff? Because like you said, you only had 60 days. So you did not have a lot of time to, be prepared for opening night. Did you have people in your mind, or how did that all work?
No, I had one person, my dear friend, Cody Ramsey. He was working for me as a bouncer, and he had worked at the Anchor for a long time, and I had a lot of respect and admiration for the Anchor and Shane and what that place was. And I was like, you have to come over here and do this with me. So he quit his full-time job, and he was with me for 10 years.
Wow.
And then he got kidney disease and he's no longer with us anymore. But that was my guy. We went through the whole thing together, side by side. But other than that, we just started, putting ads out on Indeed or Craigslist or I don't know, in the paper, whatever you did back then, and just started hiring people and trying to keep the good ones and weed out the rest.
What a journey up to this point. That's amazing.
Yeah. That's why my hair's dyed and my face is full of Botox. And
It's just a
It's
perfect
just-
example of going for it,
yeah.
Totally.
Oh, it was so stupid. It was so stupid. If somebody else was in my shoes and looked at me and said that they were going to do that, I don't think that I could encourage them.
You were 30, 31 when you opened
31.
that?
Yeah.
At my age now. That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a leap of faith.
Total. That's amazing.
Now here we are.
Yeah. No kidding. Kick-ass bar now.
Yeah. Delano is such a unique area with great history. The lawlessness of Delano, the running of the doves, the wickedness of Wichita, really happened in Delano. Do you wear it as a badge of honor to be a pillar in such a neighborhood with such great history?
Our little neighborhood is so much fun. And that's one of my favorite things, I think, about being in the location that I'm at is I have people that come in that have history with Wichita and like to come in, and they're so proud of their little piece of Wichita. And, everyone knows the stories of the running of the doves and the debauchery and all the bad things that happen down there, which makes it even more fun to own a bar in, the rowdy part of Wichita. But what is so cool, there are people that have connections to the Chisholm Trail that still travel through here. And, I get to hear their stories. The people who owned the I want to say their grandparents owned the building years and years and years ago in the 40s and 50s when it was still a gas station, came and brought me photos and showed me what it looked like. And that's been the really cool part is getting to hear the stories of the people who grew up in and around Delano, and hearing how that neighborhood has impacted them and changed their lives.
We had Joe Stump. He wrote Wicked Wichita.
Yeah.
Him talking about, all the lawlessness and everything that went on in Delano is so amazing. It's just history that I wish more Wichitans knew about the city.
Yeah.
It's so cool. When Lawrence Dumont got torn down, what were your thoughts on that when you heard they were tearing it down and they building a new stadium?
Man, I am a sucker for nostalgia. I will say that. But I was watching a baseball game one day with Bob Layton, our city manager, and we're sitting up, in the high part, and we're talking about Lawrence Dumont and its future. And he said, there's no rebar in this stadium. It's just concrete. And I said, what? And he said it was built before they started putting rebar in the concrete. So if this concrete is starting to fail, and when it starts to fail, and when this thing goes, it's going to go. And that was the moment that I thought, okay, I know we love this stadium, and, Wichita is really, really great at wanting to keep things around that don't serve a purpose anymore. But that thing was a potential death trap. And even, so you had Lawrence Dumont, and then you had this whole huge unlit, incredibly unsafe parking lot back there. So much crime happened back there. So many drug deals, so many catalytic converters stolen, so many busted out car windows. The crime in that parking lot dropped so quickly for my customers and, people in the neighborhood that used it, that it was such a blessing to have a new revamped stadium and, safer area for people wanting to use our neighborhood.
I didn't realize there was that much crime in that parking lot.
Just that
Not
parking
great.
lot between you and the stadium?
Yeah, it was
Parking lot?
black. I mean, it was just dark all the time. You could go over there and park in the back corner and nobody knew what you were doing ever.
Right. Is it lit up now?
Yeah.
I guess
they've done a really good job lighting it up, and just the way that they've, positioned the new stadium, it's, broke that up a little bit. So there's parking all around it now and not just that one big, it was fun on snow days, that's for sure, but I didn't always feel safe having our employees walk out there at night.
Darkness is a concern I have for the neighborhood. I live Riverside.
Yeah.
I've tried to voice that concern as well.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
no lighting on the streets here. Minimal lighting
No.
on the streets. I don't know. Sometimes you'll back your car out late at night or early in the morning. You'll see a guy wearing all black on a bike going right by you. What are you doing?
Don't get me started on poor little Riverside right now. I've had to alter my dog walks pretty substantially so I can feel safe when I'm walking up and down the river right now. I feel you though. I mean,
Honestly, that doesn't surprise me. I think there's bad actors prey on dark areas.
Yeah.
It's just they always have and they always will.
well, for a different podcast or a different time. I mean, it's called crime prevention by environmental design, lighting, shrubs. All these things play into what creates a desirable environment for crime and what will make you not bulletproof, but less desirable. And that's all you want to be, is the not as good as the next place to go commit a crime.
Right.
With your restaurant right in the area, I wanted to ask you what the early results are of what you've seen with the common consumption law that got passed. Have you noticed any pros, cons, anything different?
Rumor is, so right now common consumption is Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That is it. So things like open streets, we weren't able to use it. Prairie Fire Marathon, weren't able to use it. I think Chief was just wanting to feel it out and see how crazy people got walking around drinking beer. But it's been just a really nice addition. It's not something that I feel like is used frequently. They're supposed to be looking at opening it up to 7 days a week, which I think will help a lot. But I think once it starts to get warm again, because we did it right on the tail end of it starting to get cool. Once it starts to get warm again and people are out walking around, I think it's going to be a nice addition for people who want to walk from, the Monarch down to Wichita Brewing Company or Wichita Brewing Company to Good Company. Anything that helps increase walkability in this city, I think, is a good thing. Even if it's alcohol, whatever gets you walking.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you brought up Wichita Brewing Company and just kind of the, not necessarily explosion of Delano, but just the recognition of Delano. Do you see companies like Wichita Brewing Company moving into Delano less as competition and more as a rising tide, raises all boats sort of a thing?
Yeah, absolutely. It's much easier to be part of a district than it is to try to be your own destination. So if I can bring people in that, if we can play off each other and share customers, or if people can, drive down and say, oh, we'll see where we can get in and have options to walk around, I think it benefits all of us. And the more people we have walking around, the safer that neighborhood becomes. And so I think it's a win-win for the businesses and the residents of Delano.
That's a great point about being safer when there's more people down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
One thing I love about the Monarch is how you partner with local breweries with your beer selection. As the business has grown, how has your relationships with these other local companies developed as well?
Sure. So when I made that decision to only have local beer on tap, that was pretty wild. Back in the day. It doesn't seem strange at all now.
How quickly did you do that?
Pretty quickly. It only took about 6 months of having Bud Light on tap before I thought, this is not very fun. And I remember the beer reps were like, you're going to do what? You're going to do what? I'm like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I have it in a bottle. And one thing that is super cool about Monarch is we have really great relationships with all the hotels around us. So I get a lot of people in from out of town. And we've divided our menu up that way. We've got, Kansas offerings, not from Kansas offerings, because we want to do a good job of highlighting things in our city and our state. But back to your question, we're not in the same industry by any means. Brewers, definitely have a different job and have different, problems to deal with on a day-to-day basis. But there is such a rich and powerful community of local brewers and local restaurant owners that all rely on each other to cross-promote. That it's been really beneficial, not only for my brand, but for me as a person, to be able to talk to these people and get to know them and share industry tips and secrets with them. And Wichita, if there's one thing that we are good at, it is taking care of our own and being proud of ourselves. And this was a really good way to showcase how proud we are of our local brewing scene.
Has the local brewing scene always been as big as it is now, or has that kind of been a recent thing? Like you've got Walnut, the Walnut River Brewing. I don't know, is Teeter Rock local?
Teeter Rock is Walnut
It
River.
is Walnut?
Yeah.
But I just
For
feel
the
like there's-
longest time, it was just River City, and they never distributed their beer. You could only drink it there. The best thing about that was that they, for some reason, they could sell growlers on Sundays before you could even buy alcohol on Sundays. So if you were really, really in trouble and you really needed beer before you watched the game or something on a Sunday,
If you're in dire straits.
yep, go to River City and get your growler filled up.
Right.
Wow,
Right.
I had no
Yeah.
idea.
I didn't either.
No, I mean, it was just them. And I can't tell you for how long, but I mean, it was a substantial amount of time. Emerson Biggins brewed their own beer for a while out of Lawrence.
Huh.
Really?
What was that called?
Yeah,
Wow.
because they had they had an Emerson Biggins up there too. They took over a place in Lawrence that had a brewery in it. So we brewed our own beer for a while.
Like Free State, isn't that? Is Free State
Free
their own
State's
brewery?
out of Lawrence,
Yeah. And the Wichita Brewing Company brews
Yeah,
some of their
WBC.
own beers.
Yeah, a lot of this has been really great because the state laws are catching up to make distribution and promotion a lot easier for these companies. They just legalized self-distribution last year. So now I can buy beer directly from a lot of these smaller breweries that don't want to have to partner up with a larger distributor. So the state's doing a really good job of kind of growing with this industry so that we can support these brewers better.
Good.
It's great. I love your selection, and I love that it's something different than other than the standard domestics.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as a business owner, when you zig while others zag, do you think that's to your benefit? You know, most are sticking with the domestics.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on which way you're zigging and where people are zagging, but I didn't have a whole huge rail of tap handles like other places. So I tried to be very strategic about how I used mine. I think it was a very interesting thing when we first started, and people were baffled. They came in and said, "Can I get a Coors Light on draft?" "No, you cannot." "What?" "No." And that was still when craft beer was Fat Tire. And I mean, that was the craft, like that was like the gold standard of craft beer for a very long time was Fat Tire. Then Odell started to come on scene. Colorado, really, that was our craft beer scene for quite a few years. So trying to pivot to Wichita stuff, it did take people a little bit of time to buy into the fact that it is just as good, if not better, than some of these national brands that we were so used to seeing. But now you can go anywhere and get a local beer.
Yeah, it's great. And I really admire that you guys showcase local artists in the Monarch.
Yeah.
You guys rotate pieces?
I'm going to have to start rotating pieces because I'm running out of room. I was, again, broke, which turned out to be a blessing because I didn't have a lot of money to decorate with. And that was one of the solutions that was brought to the table, that I could buy pieces from these local artists and pay them off in installments. And it took me about 2 years to pay off the first round of like 5 pieces. And then slowly but surely I've been adding to that collection. When I find local pieces or, when you've got the extra money laying around. And the collection has grown so much that now there's a page on our website. So if you come in and you like the art that you see, you can actually get on our website and it'll tell you exactly who made it. And if they've got a website, it'll link to that website. I will sell some of the art. I cannot sell some of it. I'll never sell, but I will sell it for whatever I purchased it for, and then reinvest that money into another piece from the same artist. But I don't hang art like on a commission base at all. We've outright purchased all of it. And so, yeah, it's quite the collection. I'm really proud of it.
How do you find these pieces? Like, where are you introduced to each individual art piece?
So I was introduced to the artists first in the first round. And then those gentlemen acted as really great connectors, and would call me or text me or give me little pointers on which art shows to go to. And then I kind of just started keeping my ear to the ground. And we've got really great resources like Reuben Saunders Gallery. They do such a great job of bringing in really great local and regional talent. Mike Michaelis, one of the owners of Reuben Saunders, also owns Emprise Bank, and he has got the largest collection of Kansas artists I've ever. I mean, vaults and vaults worth of art. I still need to take some time to go look at all of it with him, but you know, you can, once you kind of start scratching the surface, it's not hard to find. And then now that people know that I buy it, I've got a couple guys that when they come across pieces or they know of good estate sales, they'll send them my way so I can go look. And then every once in a while you get the unsolicited artists coming in, and I've got some, I can't always tell people no. So I've also got some pieces in my private collection in the office that will never go out on the walls that,
I'm intrigued.
oh yeah. Yeah, I'll show you a picture later of one that I bought, because the gentleman thought that it looked like me, and I'll leave it at that. And I couldn't tell him no. He was so sweet. And he was just adamant that this was going to be my new logo, and this was going to be the best thing ever. And I'm like, I don't know where I'm going to put this. So yeah, there's more. There's art everywhere.
That's really great that you provide an avenue for people to go directly to these local artists.
Yeah.
You know, I really admire people who quote unquote make it and elevate others, because oftentimes people make it and then they pull up the ladder behind them per
Right.
se. So it's really great that you're elevating others along the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, really admirable.
We all shine brighter when we're in a constellation, right?
Bingo.
Yeah.
How has your relationship with risk changed since you opened the Monarch?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I, by nature, am very risk adverse, which I think is probably odd for someone who opened a business in the restaurants had the highest fail rate of any business category. I feel like I'm 45 and I feel like I'm already having to really, really plan on the end of my career and what I'm going to do next. So I have found that I have become very risk adverse because I don't know how much longer I will be able to do this. How much longer will I be cool, or will the Monarch be cool, or will I physically be able to, you know, do the labor that it requires to run a restaurant? So that's in the back of my mind all the time, is getting my plan B ready to go. What am I going to do if this, you know, if something happened and I was no longer able to do what I'm currently doing now? So I'm just in cruising mode, just trying to be as responsible as I can. Also, I'm in my 40s. Wait till you get to be that age. It's fun. Like, it's 8:30. I'm going to bed. My life's great.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I also didn't have any
No.
children, so I can go to bed whenever I want. Do you have children?
No, not yet. He's got two.
I know.
I see him frequently.
God bless you.
Thank you.
I know. Listen, being the cool uncle,
Yeah, it has its
And
That's
perks.
the
he
sweet
is
spot.
the cool uncle.
I'm the
the
cool-
boys adore him.
I'm the cool auntie. I know exactly what that feels like. It's amazing.
Yeah, it has its perks. I'll go over there and get them all riled up, and then I'm like, all right, Troy and Taylor, I'm taking off.
I gotta go.
See ya.
I'm out.
See ya. As they're
Yep.
on fire, running around.
I took my nephew to the WSU game Sunday, and I said, "Listen, I'm not your mom. Have as much soda, have as
Popcorn.
much popcorn." Yeah, we had the refillable
Oh yeah.
soda and popcorn cups, and I said, "Go to town. Just don't drink any caffeine." I think that's probably a step too far, but it did get to the point that he said, "Auntie, I think I shouldn't have any more." I was like, "You better
if
not."
kids
That
telling
sounds
you
like
that.
a nice, responsible kid right
No,
there.
I mean we were 3 popcorns in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. If a kid's telling you that, they had a lot.
Yeah, yeah, it's not going to end well.
What's some advice that you would give a young person wanting to open up their own restaurant? Like, what are some things that you went through that we wouldn't know, or someone that hasn't been through it wouldn't know?
My first piece of advice that I always tell people, like all very doom and gloom, is that you have no idea how hard is until you're in the middle of it. And that can be very discouraging. It can be very isolating because I feel like there's this persona that you see on social media of people, getting their bougie coffee and, this wake up and grind bullshit. No, it's like wake up and cry and you can't actually afford the coffee and you're drinking, shitty drip at home. It's not this whole like rah, I'm gonna conquer today. Like when you're in the trenches, you're in the trenches and it feels bad. And I don't think people talk about that enough. Like nobody ever wants to be the Debbie Downer talking about that. But then I think when you're in it, you think you're doing something wrong or, you're failing when really you're not. You're not failing. You're right where you need to be and you're doing things right as they need to be happening. They're just really freaking hard. And so that's always been my advice to people. Just don't be shocked and don't be upset when it gets like, when it starts to really get to you, because that's what we all go through. Just nobody ever talks about it.
You probably learned so much about yourself when you're in the trenches. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of value in that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, it's not always been great things. I've had to take some really hard looks at myself as, a friend or, a partner or a boss, and realize that there are things that I can do better and that I should have done better. Especially as a partner, it gets really hard sometimes to remember that that's my job. And it needs, there needs to be time for family and there needs to be time for the people that I love. You feel like all the time that you just have to put your work first. And that's not always, it's not a good thing.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I just feel like the way modern society is set up, it's so easy to get trapped into the career. Mm-hmm. And then by then, your late 20s are gone, your late 30s are gone, your kids are older, and the rest of your life you're wishing you would have spent more time with them.
Yeah.
I feel that a lot because I'm a CPA. So like, my springs are all, I'm never home, and so I always think that like, man, you just sacrifice a lot for your career and then you're just chasing the almighty dollar and your whole life's going by.
I think though, if you are aware of that, I've always said, I work to have money. Period. I don't want to work. I said this one time. I was talking on a panel and it really made this older gentleman mad, which every young woman likes to have an older gentleman, mansplain life goals to them. And he was like, you shouldn't look at it like that. I was like, but that's why we work. We work to make money. I work to pay for the things in my life that I want. So there will always be that give and take. There's always going to be the unglamorous times when you have to go. But I think it's really important to make sure that you're also carving out those moments, whether it's vacation time or take the kiddos out for some ice cream time and then go dump them back on mom. That's what you need to do. But just make sure that you're aware of why you're doing what you're doing and who you're doing it for, and keep that intention in your heart, so that you don't let too many moments pass you by.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a struggle. It's just a tightrope you got to walk, and you just need things in your life to, like my brother and my cousin, like, you just need things in your life to bring you back down to earth.
Yeah, you do. And I also feel like there's this really weird stigma about, especially business owners, about how much we are supposed to be working. I hear all the time, "Oh, well, I was at your restaurant again. I didn't see you. Must be nice." What do you think I'm doing?
Right.
They also didn't see the previous 15 years.
Yeah. Or I'm at home. I've got a home office. Maybe I was there doing paperwork. Maybe I was on a catering.
And it's none of your business
Maybe-
what I was doing.
You're right.
When I work my hours every week, that's my business. But people just assume that I should be working 70-hour work weeks. Oh, you have to work all the time. No, because I was very, I got past that. I'm very smart and strategic now about how I take care of my staff and when I have to be there and how I've trained them so I don't have to be there all the time. But I've been shamed more often than not about not being at work when people think I should be there. And it's the weirdest thing.
Screw them.
Yeah.
Isn't that odd?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Especially with all the work you've put in to get to this point.
Right.
It's running. Service still good, food's still good, drink's still good.
She's doing fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does. It catches me off guard all the time when, I've been in your place. I didn't see you. Must be nice. Cool, it must have.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shake that off as good as you can.
Oh, it's
Because
fine.
that don't matter.
Yeah, they didn't see the amount of work that got put in.
I know.
The amount of sleepless nights, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right.
They didn't see any of that.
Right.
No.
Yeah. Not having any money and open up your own restaurant at 31.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't there. They weren't there with you when that was all going on.
No. I mean, yeah. So many stories.
Yeah. I can imagine.
I wanted to jump to December of 2024.
Ooh, why?
Truck drives into the Monarch.
Oh, yeah.
It had been closed for the night, thankfully.
Yeah. For like a few minutes.
Wow. When you first heard of the incident, what was your reaction and what were the next steps?
Oh, it was so bad. So the manager called. She was pulling out of the parking lot into the roundabout when he went flying by her and ran into the building. And she calls me. She said, "I'm so sorry. Somebody ran into your building." And I said, "Get out." Like, I thought she meant physically, like somebody ran in to rob her. And I was like, "Get out, like, get out. Call 911, get out." And she's like, and I couldn't figure it out in my head what was going on. And then she's like, "No, somebody ran their car into it." So I got down there, and God bless the first responders that were down there. They were so kind. I mean, how do you wrap your head around that? There was a whole truck in the building. Meanwhile, this gentleman's just walking down the street. Cool as a cucumber.
Walking away?
Yeah. So, this would be a good time to have Dodge Trucks sponsor your podcast, because that thing took a beating. I mean, it took a beating, and this dude just walked away. Shocking. Got to be the best truck out there.
Did it go through
Dodge
your garage
Ram.
doors?
No, it went through it went through a brick wall.
Oh, there it is. Oh.
Yeah, so, and that's after they've started to extract it.
Yeah,
So
beautiful truck.
Had he actually hit that pillar, they said it would have killed him.
Wow.
But he went through that wall. He hit one of those brick pillars so hard that it jutted up, like, through the first room, into the second room. So that knocked all of the super high proof whiskey off the top shelf and exploded all over the electrical equipment. So then the security cameras caught on fire, which may have been a blessing. I don't know that. So I never actually saw the footage from the office, the storage room, or right there as he blew in.
Wow.
That's a crazy picture.
It was
Is that
wild.
whole overhang gone now?
No, that's there.
That's still there?
Yeah, that's brand new. That was an addition that we put on spring of 2024.
Was it just too fast in the roundabout and he just vaulted just into the building?
Yeah, I'll show you the pictures. I can show them to you now, but I don't think it'd make for a good podcast. But I mean, he just never stopped. I don't know I think he had to have been maybe asleep.
You think he was going from west to east, or was he coming from the south going?
No, he was going from west to east and just went straight in.
God.
And so I have all the video from Insight and Hutton across the street. They sent it to me. So yeah, you can kind of see in there where did these even come from? Who took these?
We have our ways.
He's a magician back
voyeurs. So you can
Yeah.
see like all the Cox equipment is hanging down. There was a Christmas tree in there at one point.
there. I see a wreath.
I mean, it was brutal. Brutal. But so the fire department comes out. They custom built. They had this truck, like the side buckles down, and they built this structure to support the wall that was crumbling. And they're like, yeah, you can be open by tomorrow. And I said, what?
Whoa.
Meanwhile, the police are climbing. So it had jammed the door so hard that you couldn't get in the office. So the police managed to bust the door down and take it off. Like they broke the door and ended up taking the door off its hinges. And they hoisted the female cop in the office because this was in the middle of our 12 days of bourbon. So all of these very expensive, high-priced, rare bourbons were all in there waiting for their moment to go out on the shelves. And so they made her dig through all of our stuff. And so she'd just keep randomly pulling these bottles of like Pappy Van Winkle out and all these, rare bottles we lost one expensive, rare bottle of bourbon. Everything, the rest of the stuff that broke was totally replaceable.
Wow. Who cleaned all that up?
NCRI, also another amazing company.
Who are they?
It's National
National
Catastrophe
Yeah.
Restoration Incorporated?
Yep.
Just a not-for-profit?
No, it's a company that you hire in the moment of a catastrophe, flood, fire.
Yeah. I think
So they actually brought staff in, they brought people in, and those people inventoried every single thing that they pulled out. They did all the bad, they brought a dumpster in, they did all the bad work. Hutton Construction called at 7 a.m. and said, let's get started. Let's do it. So we were closed all day on a Thursday, and we were back open Friday at 5.
unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, Hutton came in and built a fake wall that jutted up to the bar, the north end of the bar. And they just put a wall up real quick. Like it never happened.
Did they just cold call you, Hutton?
Yeah. No, because they built the awnings and they've done work
Okay.
for me
So you had a
before. And they're
relationship
across
with
the street.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they came in, put that wall up. Bunch of the staff showed up and helped clean and organize and get stuff out. They rolled in a couple red boxes out back. And we built some temporary storage and somehow opened.
That is amazing.
Hayes Company next door let us use their conference room upstairs to store stuff, merchandise, whatever we need, liquor, anything we needed to put up there. It was such a humbling moment to be taken care of in the way that we were. Oaken Pie brought us dinner one day. I mean, all these restaurants were showing up with food, and, people were showing up with, wine and beer and candy, whatever they thought they could bring to help. They were there helping us. And it meant so much, especially to these employees that need to work. It's right before Christmas. It was right before Christmas. But yeah, I mean, it was a lot. It was a lot. I mean, I'm so thankful for my insurance guy taking all my phone calls and dealing with everything, and Hutton working on it, and never again.
Wichita is such a special place in that aspect as far as helping your neighbor.
Yeah.
That's amazing. All those companies and all those people came together to help out a restaurant that is such a great staple of Wichita. So it's
I
great
loved
to
it.
see.
And it was so wonderful too. I mean, he tried to get diversion because it was his first DUI. And the judge said, nah, like, you really did it. But he ended up, he said, I can't give you a diversion after what you did. But he said, you damaged a critical part of our community. So in addition to all your normal stuff, I'm going to give you 100 hours of community service because you need to repay what you've done to Wichita. And I was I was almost in tears in the courtroom.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I truly, truly feel, I don't know, but I feel like this kid just made a really, really bad mistake. I think he drank too much. He should not have been behind the wheel. I don't think he was a chronic alcoholic. I think he just, but he really, really fucked up.
Yeah.
But thank God he's alive.
Right.
Thank God my employees are alive.
Yes.
Could have been so much worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, avoided total disaster.
Yeah.
Did it show anything about your team, how you guys rallied after that? Because it's during the holiday season, like you said, that's got to be really hard for not only you, but everybody that works there too.
I have got the best staff in the city. I mean, I have the best people that work for me. And they were so kind and they were so caring. There was one day we were breaking for lunch and I don't know what happened. Somebody told me something and I remember I was just sitting there, I just burst into tears and they were like, what can we do? What can we do? And I was like, you can't, like, I am supposed to be taking care of you guys. But it was overwhelming. There were so many pieces that, just kept moving and trying to get things put back together. But they were so caring of each other. And they were so caring of me and the company that it just reminded me how lucky I am to be able to be surrounded by people like that, because they were there. They were there the next morning, working, helping, cleaning. When you plow through a storage room, that's an obscene amount of liquid.
Right.
Like bags of soda.
Oh, yeah.
Cans of barbecue sauce. I mean, I don't know what was all over everything, but it was just like dripping and it was oozing out, like out into the street. And they got in it. They got right in it. Cleaned it up.
It's funny how dark moments like that, after there's so many bright moments that come of it.
Oh, it was crazy. I mean, it was easy to clean. There's a big hole in the wall. You just threw shit in the dumpster.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's fine.
What a chapter.
What a chapter. What a chapter. Maybe we can learn how to use a roundabout in this city. I said maybe. I'm not holding hope.
No, you would know better than most.
Holy-
Even without that, you're right by. You probably see people driving through like maniacs all the time.
The scariest thing you can do is sit out there at like 5:00 on a Friday and just watch people not understand how to use a roundabout.
Oh, what else have you seen there?
Oh, what have you not seen? I mean, none of them are. There's full and people will stop like they're waiting for a stoplight to change. Back traffic up.
People that don't stop.
People that don't stop at all. We did actually have a guy texting that ran into the back of a city bus over the summer, which is actually the only car wreck we've ever seen out there other than the wreck. One day a sweet, sweet old lady got confused and tried to make a right-hand turn at the last moment and high-sided it on the curb, but plowed over a sign, then tried to back up, started like ripping out her undercarriage, and a bunch of men actually like picked her car up for her. And then she still tried to back out of the roundabout, so we had to go help her some more.
God bless her.
God bless people in their roundabouts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a great area, though.
You slow down,
It
you
is a
merge
great,
in, you merge
it is
out.
a great area.
Nonetheless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
Not every place. Yeah. Not every place can be perfect. You know, it's a great area, but you got a roundabout.
The roundabout is amazing. It is a superior traffic. What is it? It's better than a stoplight.
Hazard.
You slow down, you go in, you go out. It's only one way. Don't go around twice. Don't get stuck in there.
Yeah.
Yield if you're not in it yet.
In and out. Don't yield when you're in it.
Right.
I get people all the time that'll hit the brakes in the roundabout and try to wave me in. I'm like,
Ooh.
go. Go. This is the thrilling conversation that your listeners wanted to hear.
Yeah.
That's great.
They'll love it.
Someone's going to feel very attacked right now on this podcast.
Maybe they'll learn
Maybe
if they didn't know how a roundabout
They'll
works.
be like, oh, shit, that was me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
right.
maybe they'll be like, huh, never knew. Hopefully not, but
Oh, God, it's not that hard.
But now they know.
Yeah.
yeah. My final question for you.
Okay.
When you think of the Monarch in that area of Delano, how do you see it continuing to progress, say, in the next 10 years?
Ooh. The Monarch is what it is. I'm going to keep trying to refine it and make little changes and edits. But that building just is that building. There's no way for me to add on or expand. I've got the baseball team behind me. They actually own that whole parking lot behind me. So that's really where my focus is right now, is trying to see if I can acquire any more parking for my customers. Delano, I am excited to see what's next for Delano. I would really love to see the growth move west, farther away from Monarch. There's so many lovely people that live in this neighborhood. And it's a predominantly poor neighborhood. I'm hoping with the new multimodal center, so the bus station, Greyhound station, parking lot, the whole situation behind me. Once that goes in, I'm hoping that the city keeps kind of moving in that neighborhood with some streetscaping and cleaning it up, because it is such a historic, beautiful neighborhood, and it's sad that we've let it be forgotten for as long as we did. They're getting ready to do some streetscaping west of Seneca, over there by the Shamrock between Seneca and Meridian. So I think that's going to be really beautiful. I would really love to see that stretch of Douglas be super cool, even further west.
Yeah. Things keep coming in down there.
Yeah,
It's growing.
it's growing.
It's growing, and it's great to see. I love places where more places in Wichita, more nightlife.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Jen, Troy, you got anything?
I don't. Just want
Have
to thank
we already done an hour?
You got
We
anything
didn't-
for us?
Oh, yeah. No, thank you. This has been fun.
Well, thank you for coming on.
I apologize to your listeners who do not know how to drive in a roundabout.
Well, now they might know.
Yeah.
Feel free to
And if
look
they don't
me
know
up.
now, then
Feel free to look me up.
They're
I'll
lost.
take you. I will teach anybody that listens to this podcast how to drive in a roundabout. No shame.
all right.
Oh, perfect.
And give them a free craft beer when they're done.
Oh,
Ooh.
See?
Maybe I don't
might
know
come
how to
down for
drive
a lesson,
around
yeah.
now.
When
Let's
you're
have a thought.
done driving in the roundabout, not before.
All right.
well,
You do have an amazing restaurant.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on.
yes,
you,
We
guys.
appreciate
it
it.
truly is a staple of Wichita.
Yes,
and
it is.
Congratulations on all
Thanks.
the much deserved success.
Thank you.
And good luck going forward. We love coming there. We'll continue to come there.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for the time.
Welcome.